Chapter 1. The Noise in Silence. Aashiya was born in a small, dusty village where dreams rarely took flight. Her life was shaped by the constraints of poverty, the silence of women, and the weight of unspoken pain. She was quiet, not because she had nothing to say, but because no one ever truly listened. Her father was a farm laborer who believed that daughters were burdens waiting to be unloaded into someone else's home. Her mother, a woman made of sacrifices, had whispered her sorrows into the stove's smoke and let them vanish with the wind. Aashiya learned early in life that words were expensive, especially for girls. But there was one phrase she carried like armor: "Don't speak to me." She didn't shout it, she didn't scream it, she simply said it, firm, quiet, and final. Whenever someone disrespected her, crossed a boundary, or assumed she had no voice, she would gently look into their eyes and say, "Don't speak to me." It wasn't arrogance, it was defiance in disguise. And no one quite understood it. Chapter 2. The House of Thorns. Aashiya was married off to Riaz when she was just 18. He was from the city, and everyone in a village said she was lucky. His mother treated her like a servant, not a daughter-in-law. The women in the house looked down on her for being too quiet. Yet no one ever asked what silence held behind it. When Riaz first slapped her for accidentally spilling water on his shirt, her hands trembled, but her voice did not rise. She turned to him, held his gaze, and whispered, "Don't speak to me." That day, Riaz laughed. He thought she was weak, broken, beaten. But something in her eyes, calm and unreadable, unnerved him. He couldn't understand how someone so quiet could be so untouchable. Chapter 3. The Escape. Years passed. The abuse grew crueler, the humiliation sharper. But Aashiya never broke. Her silence was not weakness, it was a pressure building slowly, like steam in a closed kettle. One night after a violent argument, she waited until the house fell asleep. She packed her small bag, took the little money she had saved by stitching neighbors' clothes, and walked out into the moonlight. No one noticed she was gone until morning. And when Riaz's family searched for her, they found only a note. "I am not yours to command. I never was. Don't speak to me." Chapter 4. A City of Strangers. She arrived in the city with nothing but resolve. She worked in a small textile factory, learned to operate machines, and slowly built a new life. Her hands were cracked, her eyes tired, but her spine...
Here, abandoned wives, widows, girls thrown out for loving the wrong man, all came to learn. They were not pitied, they were empowered. Aashiya rarely raised her voice. When someone cried, she sat beside them and said, "Don't speak to me, speak to yourself and listen. You'll hear a voice you've buried for years." Chapter 5. The Return of the Past. News of her success eventually reached Riaz. His own life had crumbled. His ego, once inflated, was now empty. He came to her center, hoping to take back what he thought belonged to him. He stood at the gate, looking at her through the metal bars. She didn't move. "Aashiya, I was wrong. I know I hurt you. I lost everything. Come back, please." She looked at him for a long time, and then said, almost kindly, "You're not worth my words anymore. Don't speak to me." That sentence shattered Riaz more than any scream ever could. Chapter 6. The Voice in Silence. Years passed, and Aashiya's center became a movement. Girls from villages started writing, "Don't speak to me," in their diaries, not as a sign of rebellion, but of recognition. They no longer begged for dignity. They claimed it. Universities invited Aashiya to speak. She rarely accepted. One day, a young journalist asked her, "Why that phrase? Why do you always say, 'Don't speak to me'?" She smiled for the first time in a while. Because when people stop speaking at you, they may finally start listening to you. Epilogue: The Unspoken Revolution. "Don't speak to me" became more than a phrase. It became a symbol of boundaries, of silence that wasn't submission, of women who rose not with noise, but with presence. Aashiya never became a celebrity. She didn't want to. But in the hearts of those she helped stand on their own feet, she was more than famous. She was known. And even now, in the quiet corners of cities and the dusty rooms of villages, whenever someone tries to silence a woman, sometimes all she needs to say is, "Don't speak to me," and walk away, free, fierce, and finally heard.